G'day and welcome back to Torment, Tides of Ranmenera. Turns out, last time around, we were exploring Cliff's Edge. We went to a pub after talking to Loss of Self, who wanted us to talk to a ghost lady. And we let her kill us, because we could, and escaping from her choking didn't really seem to do that much. And we ended up here, after she tore our throat out. So this is an interesting thing to try and look into. It's the same ghostly woman who strangled you, but the fury is gone from her face, replaced with confusion. She looks around. Her gaze falls on the large machine and lingers there. Finally, she notices you. She steps forward, a hint of trepidation in her eyes. Where are we? Do you know? How do I know that machine? It frightens me and I don't know why. I think we're in the labyrinth, a construct of my mind. Of your mind, yet it feels familiar to me. She looks around her again, frowning, but even though it feels familiar, I recognize almost nothing in it. Yes, perhaps it is your mind after all. I do remember one thing. She puts her hands to the sides of her head. I was angry, enraged. She turns on you. I don't know how, but there are women like me born throughout the city, repeatedly, against their will. Their memories are flitting back to me like flies. What drove them away? What do you mean? They are compelled into existence. She bites her lip, uncertain. Then she nods. I'm just a memory. Something's forcing my memory into the minds of women throughout the city.
I'll remember that.
She takes your hand in hers. I don't know how I know, but she looks away from you, lost in her own thought. She turns back to you, more certainty in her voice. Find them. The women becoming like me, or already like me. Maybe I'll remember more. Maybe we can do something. Look. You follow her finger to a glowing form where before there was nothing. It's a member. You found one of them already. The women created by the engine. So here's Loss of Self. And the machine is still that. What if I talk... Can I talk to her more? Have you found more of the women? We have to help them. How do I find these women? They're in the real world, in Circus. You may have even met them without realizing it. I have only vague impressions of them. I know that one of them is a leader. She's sacrificed much in of her life and gained life in return. Sorry, I can't tell you more than that. Oh wow, yes. Alright, farewell.
Fine.
And here's Loss of Self. Okay. The siege, she says, watching the scene in front of you. I remember the siege when the Tabat came to destroy Circus Cliffs. You remember it? I think it happened a long time ago. Did it? I'm only a broken memory, apparently. What do I know of time? A wry smile plays on her lips. After a long, quiet moment, she nods. I was there. I remember the screams, the terror. The Tabat came, many of them mounted on their dragoliths, each of them with a stranger, more terrifying weapon than before. Circus should have fallen, like Shuena and Ikwa and 100 villages before us, but we didn't. We fought them off. It's coming back to me. These are my memories. But what does that have to do with the other women? I don't know. There's more to the story. I need your help to find it. And then we got the Tabat and townsfolks.
I'm going.
Okay, so this is like an interactive story scene. Yep. Burning buildings, much older style, but yep. And so this will take us back into our mind.
I'm going.
Let's just see. Where does this lead? Nowhere. Everywhere. Is our map? Cool. And this will lead us back to probably the center of the labyrinth? Yeah. Yeah, I was right. Haha. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm really pleased to have actually advanced that quest line. Am I glad to see you came out of that door? The thing just showed up. Don't know what to expect. Do you know who the ghostly woman is in that fathom? Don't know anything about that one. That way is blocked. It's not surprising, really. It's your mind, not mine. More likely she's just a lacuna, a construct of your mind, or your buried memories. Either that or she's a reflection of someone you met in real life. Whoever or whatever she is, she probably isn't real. The only one with that distinction, and me, by extension. How do... what should I do now? We need to find someone who can fix the chamber. Yeah. Has anything changed since last time I came here? Look around. It's your mind. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Good luck. So I guess we head back down here and we leave.
Go.
We can't go back there. Yep. Cool, cool. So we get up. Do we have any ill effects of dying? I'm okay. I'm okay.
Adventure awaits somewhere.
Yep, I'm okay. Okay. So, do we want to chase this thread or do we want to do the pub quests? I kind of just want to chase this thread for the moment. So that's what I'm going to do. Because I can. I know where the next part is, because it's pretty straightforward. The leader that they were talking about is the leader of the levies. So she has a unusual relationship in that she has created a whole lot of different levies because, well, she has this she had this voice that was basically eating away at her, exactly like loss of self. And so she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to lose herself. So instead she just gave year after year after year of her life to create levies.
Be still and silent. All three.
I don't understand how all you Calesthesias could even notice in that crowd of you.
A few thousand of my eyes can't help but notice you.
I really like the banter between us two.
I'm going.
At the moment, it's totally worth it. But yeah, so that was one way of escaping. So that's definitely one of the loss of selves. And so she is actually up here. So if I go to the Council Clerk, behind a lectern, a four-eyed, hairless mutant processes paper with balletic grace. He's endlessly snapping the elegant fingers of his left hand, and each time the air twists and shimmers, either disgorging a document to be processed, or accepting one that he's completed with his ink-stained right hand. Each of his eyes regards a distinct object, portals that are opening, preambles and recitals that must be reviewed, his own addenda that must be flawless. One eye twitches in your direction. Exaggerated scorn twists his mouth, and though the eye remains fixed on your face, he gives no verbal acknowledgement. The closest he comes is a faint sigh. At last, after shunting a half-dozen more documents to some distant cubby, he condescends to speak. You must wait, of course, until council matters conclude. His quarter gaze leaves you, his face returns to its former equanimity, and he continues his work, which shows no evidence of slacking, let alone concluding. Scatter his papers? No. I assure you my matters are important enough. Eridus is terrible at persuasion. She's not, but she's only got a 70% chance. We can make it 100%. But let's go with 85. Okay. The clerk conveys his personal regard for the importance of your matters with a long, loud sigh. But he focuses one of his eyes on you and replies, Very well, very well. Let us weigh the worth of your needs, shall we? What is it that you want? I'd like to ask some general questions. Nope, fine. I wanted to ask about loss of self, but I guess we'll talk to Sigyn directly. This woman is dressed much like the levies who flank her, but unlike them, her expression is sober and alert. Her hair is cut short, the corners of her eyes wrinkled with crow's feet. A little swarm of mechanical drones circles around her, buzzing messages in her ears. She whispers replies in return. And every so often, one of them whisks away, disappearing into the city. What is it, citizen? She pauses, eyes darting to your tattoo, then to your face. No, you're the one they call Adon. I heard you in the city. You sense a sudden wariness in her. It's been 10 years since your last visit. I was too young to know you then, but the drones remember. What do the drones remember about me? On cue, 2 of her attendant drones dipped close to her ear, emitting a stream of raspy noise that might well be some sort of language. You kept to your own affairs, but everywhere you went, the city held its breath. People deferred to you, even the ones with power and influence. You looked the same as you do now. Exactly the same. Interesting. I want to know why, especially since we're a newborn cast-off. And the intro implied we had a new body. But yeah. If you don't mind telling me, I want to know exactly what you're doing in Circus now. The stories they tell me are troubling. I'll have to keep an eye on this one. I'm trying to escape a creature that's hunting me. Smoking tendrils, grasping talons, a towering, nebulous shape. She sees the look on your face and nods. I've seen it, but only through the eyes of a drone. Not long ago, it killed a man on the streets, a man with the same mark you bear. If anyone knew, there'd be panic, even if it's only hunting. People like you I haven't told anyone, not even the Council. Another drone swoops past you, stopping just short of the woman's head. It unleashes a series of raspy buzzes and squawks. You whisper something to it, then glances back in your direction. What was it you wanted? As she turns her face back from the drone, something about her profile strikes you as familiar. In that moment, she looks so much like the ghostly girl you met in the Fifth Eye. They could be the same person, though this woman seems 20 years older at least. You look a lot like someone I met in the Fifth Eye. She laughs aloud. In that moment, her voice is clear and rich, like that of a much younger woman or even a teenage girl. Was she a scarred peltast, wedded to a blade, fresh from the endless battle? Guts about it. Another one of us. Actually, she was young, with a chorus of whispering voices all around her. The face goes pale. Then I know who she was. She was the woman who haunted me when I was a girl. The woman I was supposed to become.
Making a note.
For as long as I can remember, I felt as though this other woman was taking shape inside me. When I was a girl, I'd gaze at myself in the looking glass, and every day I seemed less like me and more like her. I don't remember when I abandoned my family, but it couldn't have been more than 10 or 12. They seemed like strangers to me. I couldn't even remember who they were. I started hearing stories about other girls like me, older girls, younger girls. I sought them out and learned everything I could. All the ones I met went mad. They never survived past their 20th year. It wasn't always the same death. Sometimes it was sickness or an accident, or they ended their own lives, but somehow they always died. It was fate, and it was mine too. But you survived. I cheated. She's silent for a moment. When I was old enough to become a citizen, to sacrifice a year to create a levy, I went to the Order of Truth, and I told them I wanted to donate as many years as I could. I didn't think it would work, but what choice did I have? Then they started taking the first few years. I aged closer to 20. Each time I thought I would die, and the levy that was born from my 20th year, it was a monster. They tried to make me stop, but I refused. I made them go on. I burned through my 20s and beyond. With every year I lost, I felt that other woman inside me weakening, pleading, dying. I laughed as they burned the years away. When I walked in the Order of Truth, I was a teenage girl. When I walked out, a few hours later, I was a middle-aged woman, but I was free. So, you said the levy that was born from your 20th year was a monster. It was death. Not death the way it's personified in stories, but death like it really is. A bloated thing with festering sores, vomiting blood and pus and excrement from every orifice. Even the Aeon priests were terrified. They burned it into a pile of ash. How long has this been happening to women in the city? Centuries, I think. The earliest reference I could find was around the time of Sheila, but it probably goes back even further. There was an Aeon priest about 80 years ago. He thought he'd make a name for himself by discovering the cause. He finds out it only affects women in Circus, never the outlying villages. He thought it might be caused by some kind of Numenera underneath the city. He was never able to prove anything. So how old are you really? 22. That's why I was too young to remember you when you left here as a 12-year-old girl, a runaway, half-mad, and living in the streets. Let's talk about something else. She nods. I'm glad I finally told someone. Easier to tell a stranger such things, perhaps. What were you saying to the drones? They carry my orders back to levies all over the city. A few years ago, the Aeon Priest found them buried underground and brought them back to life. I learned the language, so our conversations are safe from prying ears. And that was all pretty cool. I don't really want to learn more about that. Let's go for Finzen's quest as well. So it turns out we've got one part of the Lost of Self quest. I guess there must be others, Probably should have talked to her more, because I now need to die to go back to the Fathoms, as far as I can tell. Min of Tanliang, let's talk to you. This priest is tall, thin, and dressed only in black. Narrow slashes of oil decorate his unlined skin like letters in an unknown tongue. His eyes are harried but alive with intelligent humor. They land on you with a tiny flicker of recognition. She's back. I wonder what brings her here. Then his eyes moves from you to your companions. Hello, Calestige. Here to work or just visit? With the husk? I hope this isn't a long-term visit. His smile, you note, is the slightest bit strained. Just a bit of business. Have you ever heard anything about the resonance chamber, Min? We're looking for a way to repair one. Your what? I thought that was a myth and you're trying to repair it. Where is it? Is that what she and Salameria were working on? I'd love to see that. I'd rather not say. Ah, he's mouth-twisting. Probably wise. Do you have a piece of the machine with you? I have a shot of it. Take a look. He handles the shard with care. Organic and crystalline. It was grown into the appropriate shape for the machine. This is definitely what Salameria was working on all those years ago. With her partner. He looks at you, eyebrow raised, but does not say more. It must... He reluctantly hands it back to you. It must be her then, but why lie? I'll ask Salameria about it later. In all honesty, I focus more on traditionally powered machines. Salameria has some experience with organic machine construction. You might ask her about it. I'm in a levy that's losing its mind. It wants to take a better year from its creator. It what? That's horrifying. His gaze drifts the air and very fascinating. I could build something based on our machine that would trade a year of the citizen's life, as long as you'll pay 60 for parts. And the citizen was willing, of course.
Making a note.
Alternately, if you want to spare the shins and day it would take me to make it, you could try building it yourself. Feel like a challenge. Ugh. Make it for free if I could, but the order needs me and the money. I'm trying to the money myself right now. No problem, I'll still be here. Let's talk about the device. I'll try building the device myself. That's the spirit. Not we couldn't use money, mind you, but we're not about getting rich here. Okay, farewell. So, firstly, I'm trying to see something. I lost that fettle, which was giving me more an intellect edge as well. Well, I should have noticed that. That's annoying. Use item. On me? Can I do that? I thought I said to use the item. What the hell?
Now.
Ah, right. There we go.
Why, of course.
Okay, so we do this. The machine is a chaotic assemblage of metal tanks and tubing. A work table mounted with spare parts stands beside it. It's connected by wires to an oddly familiar sarcophagus and other devices. Examine the machine. As it turns out, there's very little to examine. Every access point to the machine has been carefully sealed. Some of the hatches and panels are worn with use. They're likely accessed by the Order when they perform maintenance on the machine. Others are gleaming ornate locks with twisted keyholes, unmarred by the nicks and scratches and nicks of careless everyday use. You run your hands across its surface and feel the ghost of another person's hands doing the same. Let's try and find out why it's so familiar. Annoyed that I lost that edge, honestly. The memory opens like a gaping mouth and closes around you. Hot wind pulls at your robe. Jagged grit claws at your eyes. Squinting through the storm, you see the machine, half buried in the sand. Curiously, you wedge open a panel. Inside is a sphere, sparking like a jewel, but soft to the life drains from you into the sphere like blood from a wound. The machine is stealing your life. Growling, you return the favor, ripping the sphere from the machine and regarding it with cold eyes. The memory releases you abruptly, leaving you panting in front of the machine, which is not the ruined monstrosity your predecessor discovered in the Archipelagian ruins. You know, however, the orb is sealed somewhere inside the device. Let's pick through the spare parts. You sort through the jumbled components on the table. There aren't many, nor are there any duplicates. They seem to be spare parts from the machine. Let's try and figure out how it works. Calestige? You do it. How does it work? Explain for me, please. After several minutes of examining the spare parts on the table and the machine itself, you'd think you understand. Most of the components can channel or focus the life from a subject. One of them, if you're correct, is a device that pulls the life from the subject, but none can store life, even temporarily. Furthermore, there are no duplicate components. You'll only have one shot at building the device that Finzen's levy needs. So we can use the parts to build a cipher for Finzen and his levy. Speed, you say? Interesting. So I can drain a bunch of his pool. Oh, wow. Why is Rin so good? Ah, she's got quick fingers. And that's it. I have a higher base chance as well, because I've got the Numenera Analyzer and Law and Machinery. But Rin has a higher speed pool. So we're going to get Rin to do it. She's just obviously doing it with my instructions. The goal, of course, is to channel the life directly from Finzen to his levy with no intermediate step. It will not be as elegant as the machine beside you, but it should work. Should. Working with great care, you fit the delicate components together with quiet snicks and clacks, following the insubstantial blueprint in your mind. Clack. There. Done. Finzen and his levy await. Have this blinking assembly. Yep. Should transfer a single year of life. Leave and let's go.
With alacrity.
Cool. I mean, yeah, we're definitely draining our time. Which means that I'm going to need to make a choice soon as to what I'm going to do. But I guess we will do that in a moment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head back to Circus Minor.
I'm ready.
Onward. Let's go give the levy an extra year of life. I've never done this before. I'm really curious as to how it will go. I mean, yeah. Alright, off we go. Over here. Gotta run. I think we've now talked to everyone in the circus. Although we could go and hand in the quest with Rin. I'm not entirely sure how that will all play out. That'll be interesting to see. We'll give it a go a bit later. Alrighty. Blah blah blah. Up here you. Come on. When we got more speed, I want to try and deal with Aiden over there, but not just yet. Alright, here we go. Any luck with the Skolix? I brought a device that will transfer a year from you to your levy.
I'll remember that.
Fine, just 1 year, right? He chuckles, but there's not much humor in it. Got a few to spare. Let's get this over with. Okay? Hey, Levy. Let's see if this ends well or badly. How does this thing work? And what do I get to pick the year or what? Will this hurt him? I do not want this to. Ah! I am well now. Sir, are you? I'm fine. Leave me be, right? Now, I wanted to talk to both of them. Well, it's done. Funny thing, first year they took didn't hurt a bit. This one stings like glass in the gut. But the levy's gone, that's something. You feeling alright? Honest, no. Got some hammering in my head and a greasy feeling in my throat. Hope that goes away. Do you regret helping the levy? Sure, but no, too. The way you described it, I owed him a debt. You have to pay a debt, citizen or no. He winces. Think I need to lie down. I'm off. He moves to do that and then pauses. Hey, before I forget, let me give you something for all the trouble. And he gives us 2 spray flesh and some cash. Nice. In a small pouch dropped into our hand. So, did him a little bit of injury. But we do get more of a reward that way. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not we'll see any long-term things from that. Can we talk to Loss of Self now about this thing? Good, you're back. Talk loud. It eases the pain. I want to help you deal with this woman in your head. No, none of these things. I'll return when I find a way to help you.
Yes.
Okay. So, we found... I guess the next one will probably be down in the Undercity. Out of curiosity, the stuff up here, if I were to continue to try and get all of the body mods, what do we got? What can we do for this? Okay, so chat with him. Show me a list of services. Okay, we've got blood nanites. We've got jagged memory and the claw gauntlets. What does jagged memory do? Time traveling or may not be wound inflicting implant. 110 shims. Can't afford it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we should do more wandering through here, I guess. So what do we have? We've got Aiden. We've got this place that we can examine. It's just a dilapidated structure. Or we could go to the pub and do the stuff in the pub. It's probably not the worst idea. Oh hey, there's stuff to pick up over here. I'm gonna grab some things from over here. And I know that triggers a convo, I think. Oh hey, we got a little bit more cash. So yes, I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Trying to make sure that the cat on my desk does not inadvertently cause me problems. Although to be fair, I don't think he cares whether or not he causes problems for me at all. Alright, Jano. My goal is, because apparently I can, to get all of the implants. So let's go with jagged, or what was blood nanites again? Fight illnesses and toxins in your bloodstream. Let's go with jagged memory. I'll take it. A drone streaks past you, dropping a fine, flexible mesh over your forearm. The resulting sizzle, you realize, is your flesh melting. You're not sure what the popping sensations in your elbow are. You're too busy screaming to figure it out. Your vision clears. Along with the smoke rising from your charred flesh, an ethereal weapon called back from a distant time shimmers against your palm. With a thought, you banish it back to where it came. Summon it again. Banish it. Interesting. All done, Jano says. Good. Can I interest you in anything else? Okay, so that did us a bunch of damage. We got a new tool. Farewell. Let's go see if we can talk to Piquo. He glances at you distrustfully and looks away. Are you sure there isn't anything I can do to change your mind about talking to me? What happens in the parlor again? Nope. I guess he literally... Oh, either we need to find something to trigger this, or we can only do that as a male exile. Okay, so let's go picking through the trash some more. Alright, so they just basically take the remains of the buildings and push them away. Alright, so the question is, do we pursue this? Do we try and get the Stitcher situation sorted? Or what? What are our goals right now? Because we got a bunch of quests. We got a bunch of quests I can do. I don't know why I stopped moving. Come on. Game. But let's see what we got. So we get a little. So we can find some shims. There's some eggs there. Far below we can see stuff, but we can't actually get to that. We'd need to figure out how to get to the tunnel.
You mean dashing, handsome, and with an impeccable sense of timing and wit?
Why, yes, of course. How could I have possibly meant otherwise?
Yeah. Good response.
Making a note.
Partially hidden in the trash of the dump is a strange and frightened creature. It's covered in chitin like an insect, but its shell looks thin and soft, and its small malformed claws seem half-grown. It stares at you from its hiding place and chitters incomprehensibly. It exudes a sense of sentience as it watches you, but you sense nothing in its mind, as though it were a common animal. What are you? The creature makes vague motions with its claws, and amidst a series of clicks and wet guttural noises. Oddly, you smell dust and lightning. Some of the sounds are reminiscent of human with a digestive problem, but you're fairly certain it's some sort of language. How did you get here? Is there any way for me to learn the language from you? Apparently not. So then, if we head back out... Hey look! Intercepted by small kids.
I'll remember that.
A scrawny boy in rags reaches out to you. Ma'am, please, ma'am. I know you saw the stitches hiding in the midden. Please don't tell anyone about him, man. He's not doing anyone any harm.
Updated my journal.
You saw his hands. They're like human hands. He can't dig like the others. It's not him that's bringing the houses down. What's the stitches? Everybody knows what stitches are. They're diggers. They make tunnels under the ground. People around here think they're the reason the houses are falling down. He looks back toward the alley. Except this one can't dig, so the others kicked him out, and at least I think that's what happened. Anyway, he's all alone like my sisters and I, so we want to help him. And what is this stitches to you? Sorry, I have a cat head in the way. He's being a little bit of a pain, but he's very cute. We found him, man, my sisters and I. He was so pitiful, near to starving, near to dying. We've been feeding him ever since, but we gotta get him out of here. Neighbors will find him soon, and that'll be the end of him. His family, to me, like his sisters, whose names I can't read because, as I mentioned, cat. Alright, so you feed him? Stitch eat electrical energy. Can't find nearly enough. He's starving. Do you have a plan to help him escape? No, ma'am. We can't just walk him down the street or that fat little lord would see him. Not to mention the neighbors, and we'll kill him for sure. People are looking for him. They say that he's not safe, but he's not. He is safe. I'm telling you, he can't dig. All he wants to do is go somewhere safe. Maybe I can find a way to deal with this. Could you, ma'am? That'd be wonderful. If you can find the other Stitcher, maybe they'd help him. I hear some of them down in the underbelly, but I've never seen them myself. I'll try. Thank you. I had a feeling I could trust you. You're like some kind of game protagonist. And so, I guess that's one of the things we'll do next time. Good segue into going down into the underbelly. I think it would be good to try and get the Stitcher quest kind of out of the way. And we can do another little side quest in the process. So, that sounds good. See you then. Bye. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending the time and effort watching the videos I make. If you'd like to watch more, on the left there should be another video from this playlist. On the right there will be whatever YouTube recommends. And in the center there is a convenient subscribe button, just in case you need it.